Hey, I am live. Osio ganali. Aniyuya agea here. Just a quick stream because I'm like seriously chicken with its head cut off, running around, screaming, busy. Just gonna confront some of Nicole's lies again. First, no, Nicole, I know you think you're so wonderful and special, and that's why you have 6 people in your chat when I don't have any, because guess what? I haven't been on YouTube for years harassing and bullying people and being a general cunt. Guess that's going to change now, ain't it, cousin? Dina did not tell anyone to do anything, and from what I understand, it had to do with stolen artwork, the TikTok logo, etc. You have no license to use that shit. I mean, I know you're not mentally disabled, but you are dumb as a fucking stump. And guess what, bitch? No, I don't need to mind my own business. I have a right. I have a right to talk about your shit when you're talking shit about other people. I have the right. That's not how it works, Nicole. I have the right. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Matter of fact, I'm kind of bummed your merch got taken down because it was something great to mock your ass with. You know, anybody that believes that you didn't copy Dina is an idiot. But of course, if they're a supporter of yours, they've got to be an idiot to begin with. Oh, what are we jealous of, Nicole? What is there for us to be jealous of? Not a goddamn thing. You talking about the cheer coach and those people volunteer their time? Do you think that shit doesn't get heard by the Special Olympics people? You're going to be lucky if your ass doesn't get thrown off the softball team now. You disparage their organization. You disparage the people that work for them because you're a petulant little brat who didn't get your way. You want to just bully your way through life and have everybody believe you're right all the time. You never lie, when we have proof to the opposite. Go ahead, Nicole. Bag on my audio, bag on whatever. I don't give a flying motherfuck. Because unlike you, I actually have a life. Dina has a very busy life. She doesn't have a lot of time for your bullshit either. And again, for Nicole and her idiot brain dead followers, no, she is not telling anyone to report you. She doesn't have time. Oh, and you made a new merch store. Well, isn't that special? But you're only putting it in your Discord. Brilliant marketing scheme, Nicole. 6 whole people who don't buy shit from you. As far as I know, the only person who bought anything from you before it got shut down was Dina. Dina bought one of your shirts. Now she doesn't know if she's going to get it or not. I'm sure she'll probably get an email either way, but meh, you know. By the way, don't forget, you're supposed to be in court a week from Thursday. It's going to be really great to see if you show up or not. Hey, Firefly. I'm only going to be on here briefly. I'm working on a project that's just got me running around like crazy. It's literally taking 16 hours a day. It is absolutely exhaustive. And I can't say anything about it until a certain investigation is done. And if I decide to say anything about it, then people are going to just sit and listen with their mouths hanging open. It is that incredible and intense. It's something that's been going on for 5 or 6 years now. And when people hear the extent of this issue, holy mother of fuck. Oh no, Firefly, I am not having fun with it. This is some really nasty, bad shit. I mean, we're talking federal level bad shit. We're talking about somebody like Nicole. Their lies in a way that they're actually believed. And this is someone who is extremely dangerous. So, I mean, I've got like 20 tabs open on my computer. I have no idea what my audio sounds like. It's completely in fucking sane. And then I was talking to my sister the other night, and it's so funny because she hates cell phones, but she finally got one out of necessity. And I said, okay, well, if you text me, don't accidentally text some senator or his assistant, because she had a cell phone when she worked for a high level marketing company, and she basically burned out on that job and tossed her cell phone and has never wanted one since. And cell phones are a lot different now. So she tried to text me using her husband, my brother's phone, and she kept wondering why she was getting really weird responses from me. Well, she's texting things that only she and I would know, and little, inside jokes and stuff, and she's wondering why she's getting these bizarre responses back, and she's going, is something wrong? Vince, should we call her? So, yeah, turns out this senator's assistant has a name similar to mine, so she thought that she was texting me and she was texting them. And I still love to tease her about that. But she finally got a cell phone. So now we can text back and forth, and they're having their house basically gutted right now, so they're not in their house. So I miss talking to her because we're both night people. We're both very high-strung, anxiety-ridden people. So we're up all night, and so she calls me at like midnight, 1 a.m. We'll talk on the phone till 4, 5, 6 in the morning, and we just laugh our asses off. But I've talked to her about this stuff, but the other issue really needs a lot more attention. I know that's disappointing to you, Nicole. Not everyone's attention is on you 24/7. Tell some more lies, Nicole. I mean, Jesus Christ. Anybody that believes anything out of your face is as dumb as you are. And you can tell me to shut up all you want, but like you always say, I have a right. You're talking about my friend, so I have a right. You're talking about people who donate their time out of the kindness of their heart, and you're shit-talking them. Well, I have a right to defend them too, because you are talking shit about an organization that does a lot of good, and you want to badmouth us. Oh no, you got reprimanded, and the spoiled little bitch Nicole can't handle that. Oh, we have 3 people watching. How many are lurkers? Oh yeah, Firefly. I've got a lot of those kind of, oh God, projects. I've got projects. I'm trying to finish my brother's birthday gift. I'm trying to get the work done on that. And I do that when I take breaks from the research for the other thing. And, I've got candles I need to get poured. I've got more beadwork I've got to get done. I've got soap I need to make. And then in the middle of all of this, I may end up having to go back to California here very soon with, the $6 a gallon gas. Although it'll be nice to get the fuck out of this wet hellhole. Good God. It's supposed to rain for a week. I hate the Pacific Northwest, but I've got stuff here. I've got stuff in California. I've got stuff in Idaho. And so that's why I don't have any pets right now, is because I end up having to just pick up and go. I'm tired. God damn, am I tired. Between this and the fibro flare and everything else that's going on, it's like, oh, come on. Can't stuff slow down for a little while? We're going into summer, and that's usually when I go to our aunties in Idaho. But even when I'm there, it's a working vacation. You know, I clean out all her flower beds. I do a deep clean on the house. She's 93 and she recently broke a hip, so there's no way she can do it. My uncle is in his 70s and he had polio when he was younger, so his legs aren't great, so he can't do it. And no one else in the family will help her unless they get paid for it. And even then, they don't show up most of the time. I wash the windows in and out. I run errands. I cook dinner. Most of the time when people go to stay with her, they expect to be waited on. I mean, the woman's 93 and you want her to wait on you hand and foot? Really? Yeah, Abe has said some fucked up shit, and he is not as anonymous on the internet as he thinks he is either. If we really wanted to, we could find him, but he's so inconsequential right now that who gives a flying fuck? You know, he's a nasty, trollish little person that supports a nasty, trollish little person. So anyway, yeah, Nicole's, of course, lying again, saying that we got her merch taken down when it was most likely licensing because she had TikTok logos and shit like that. I mean, that girl wouldn't know the truth if it jumped up and bit her on her diapered ass. But not everybody else lying. I never lie. I tell the truth all the time. Well, Nicole, I have it on very good authority, and I won't tell you how, that I know otherwise. Yeah, I do know what happened. Yeah, I do know what was going on. Because you don't know who I know. You don't know where my connections are. But between me and Dina and a few other people, yeah, you fucked around and now you're going to find out. Some more people are going to fuck around and find out. Granted, I don't get to be around for most of it because, like I said, the importance of this other stupid thing that... And it really pisses me off is I warned people over a year ago. Oh, no, that couldn't be going on. No. What? No. Yeah, guess what you finding out now? Yeah. I hope y'all feel stupid, because I warned you over a year ago. Actually, almost 2 years ago, because it was right after the beginning of the pandemic. They've dropped the mask mandates here. They've dropped them in California. And I'm like, oh, great. No matter where I'm at, no masks. I'm going to keep wearing mine. I'm double vaxxed and boosted. Probably going to need another booster soon. Home tests keep turning up negative so far. And I just try to avoid humans. Because y'all a bunch of germy, dirty, filthy fucks. But, yeah, this happened at the beginning of the pandemic, and when I saw it, I got a hold of my sister, and I'm like, look what I sent you in messages! And she looks at it, and she's like, and she starts screaming for my brother, and she's going, look at this! And, you know, it's only recently it's begun unraveling, and it's unraveling at a hefty rate. And one of the problems is going to be that, oh, Firefly, she's not going to get arrested. It's just an anti-harassment order. She could get arrested if she keeps avoiding showing up for court, because they can enter a bench warrant for her. And then she will get arrested. And mommy's going to have to bail her ass out of jail. But no, she's not going to get arrested over this unless she fucks up, which we can pretty much count on that. Now we have 7 people. Yay, lurkers! That's another thing. Oh, the spies, the lurkers. Yeah, we don't make any secret of it, you idiots. But you think you're being all sneaky. Yeah, you're not. Okay? I don't give a shit. Watch it. Talk about it. I don't care. Kiss my ass. Oh, now we're back up to 4. It keeps going from 3 to 4. 3, 4, 3, 4. the consequence, only if she doesn't show up to court, they will issue a bench warrant and then she will be arrested. But the court date itself is just for an anti-harassment order. And once that is in place, if she talks about people, and I'm sure Dina will go with that third party thing, if she has other people talk about her in her place, well, then she gets arrested for violating the anti-harassment order, just like with Harold and Harold's friend Maureen. And I was incorrect because I thought that Dina had a anti-harassment order, restraining order against his sister, but apparently she doesn't. And then her sister tried to get one on her. Harold's sister tried to get one on her. This is the one that Harold thinks is so wonderful and so nice, and she wants to have her on panel because Nicole, for some reason, loves criminals. I mean, Harold is being charged with 100 counts of CP, for crying out loud. Savage Libra, if a judge did that, you know she would violate that double time. She would think she was being sneaky. And she's too stupid to actually be sneaky. But, yeah, Dina went to court today, and Harold's sister made an absolute fucking fool of herself. And she kept talking to other people. Yeah, Firefly, they could do that, but she will violate it almost immediately. I guarantee you, whether it's some supposedly hidden channel on YouTube, or it's Discord or TikTok or Instagram. Oh, it's Savage Libra. He's saying, or she's saying, they are saying, if a judge banned her ass from the internet, I'd be happy as fuck. There it is. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get stuff packed up in case I find out I have to go back to deal with Dad's house and stuff in California and down in the Orange County area. Oh, God. I stopped to get gas today at the mini mart, and the owner is a friend of mine, and I asked about a certain neighbor of mine, and sure enough, she came in again, and she pulled her, she tries to get food for free from the hot case, and then she came in saying that she had bought ice earlier but forgot to get it, so she needed to get it now because they have to unlock it, And she's always pulling shit like that, and when he doesn't fall for it, fuck you, motherfucker, go back to your own fucking country. Oh, that pisses me off. That pisses me off more than anything. And I'm like, yeah, that whole family's pretty much a bunch of Nazis. So using the N-word and, white power and that kind of crap, Oh, white genocide. I'm sorry, my people used to be 100% of the population of this country. And then they came over here. Now they're 62% of the population of this country. And my people are less than 2%. When you get down to stats like that, then you can bitch to me about white genocide. And I'll still tell your ass to go back to Europe. They want people to assimilate to our culture. Oh, you mean like you did when you came here? Yeah, I hear you people speaking Cherokee and Lakota and Diné all the time, right? Matter of fact, somebody down in Arizona, they were speaking to their family on the phone, and some woman, this is America, you should be speaking English. She looked at the woman and said, I'm speaking Navajo. Shut that bitch up. At least she had enough brains to shut up, realize, oh yeah, they were here before you were. So, so he told this neighbor person, that she's not allowed to come into his store anymore because she's pulled this a few times. Well, she sends her nephew down. Oh, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. And he says, she's disrespected me several times. No, I can't have her in here. If you people want to disrespect me that way, then don't come in my store. There are other stores. Go to them. So kind of like with Nicole, there are repercussions to what you say. Nicole's going to find that out. Freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences. Your actions may come with repercussions, reprimands, and no, it's not because you're black, because you're disabled, because you're female. It's because you're a shitty person. You are one of the most vile people I have ever seen. Years and years talking about people's children, but then you want to attack somebody else for talking about somebody's children. Keep going on about somebody's family and making up shit and talking nasty, white trash this and white bitch that, and white people are stupid, and then try to say that your streams aren't hateful. What do you call that, Nicole? If somebody was going on about, oh, that Nicole, that black bitch, blah, 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 oh, you would have something reported for hate speech ASAP and say, it was hate speech, it was hate speech, it was hate speech. So go have your White Castle, Nicole. Go have your pot pie. Go have your crumble cookie and shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Because everyone else has just as much right to speech as you do. It's just that we're not actually lying. So, like you, let me repeat myself. Dina is not lying. Dina is not sending anyone to report you. Dina doesn't have the time in the day to particularly bother with you until someone tells her something because she's busy. She's remodeling her house. Oh, and let's address that. No, she is not having problems with the IRS. No, the house is not her father's, it is hers. So, the lot of you, all you do, you're so nasty that all you can do is make up lies about people. And then when people lie about you, you want to get all up in arms. Hypocrite much? Seriously, fuck the lot of you. Do you know what came up in court today? That Dina allegedly sent Nicole a glitter bomb. Where did that come from? Well, what do you know? RSN. And I think it was Marie or J-Love. Oh, yeah, that was probably Dina. That was probably Dina. That was probably Dina became, that was Dina. Dina did that. No proof. And Dina has said, what the fuck would I send her a glitter bomb for? Why would I waste time and money on that? But since y'all know where she is and all that stuff, she's waiting for you to send her a glitter bomb. She said she likes pink, purple, and black, so send away. She's kind of upset that you haven't thought of it by now. I mean, what kind of trolls are you? You're just absolutely ridiculous. And if you are anything in real life like you are on here, I imagine that you are some very lonely people because no one wants to have shit to do with people like you. These people recognize that, oh, if you're talking about somebody behind their back, you're probably talking about me behind my back. Nobody wants to have anything to do with nasty, vile, gossipy people who make shit up about other people to feel better about themselves. Make themselves feel like they're superior, to act like they're so self-righteous. Because I have a relative like that. Do you know what the rest of the relatives say? Yeah, I don't want anything to do with her. All she does is gossip and talk shit about people, and she lies. She blatantly lies. Before my mother died, she said, I don't know where she gets this shit from. It's some kind of revisionist history. She remembers everything differently than anyone else does. And that's you, Nicole. That's your idiot followers. You all seem to remember things differently than how they happen. When they say it, Firefly, it's libel. Or slander, sorry. When they say it, it's slander. If they write it, it's libel. And that's why you hear a lot of people say allegedly, allegedly. Because in journalism school, you're taught prodigious use of the word allegedly. Never state anything as fact, especially if it's an ongoing investigation, court case, etc. you say allegedly. And that's a CYA word. Cover your ass. Bet people didn't know that I was trained in journalism. I'm even a published writer. Unfortunately, the zine that I was writing for went tits up after 6 months because the owners had more money than sense. I guess you could say they had more dollars than sense. And they had no idea how to run a magazine, and it just, trying to get paid from them was like pulling teeth. Yeah, he did that several months ago. I guess Nicole had gotten a glitter bomb. Of course, that could be another one of her lies. And so RSN's like, oh, it's probably Dina. It's probably Dina. And then, of course, that probably Dina became, it was Dina. And so Harold's sister mentions it in court today that she sent someone a glitter bomb. Harold's sister is in with these vile idiots and has listened to everything they said. She said she was terrified to come into court because, that mob was going to be after her. She acts like, yeah, we're going to come from around the whole fucking world just for you. Really? Much like Nicole, do you really think you're that important that we're going to show up anywhere for you? I wouldn't cross the street for any of you. I wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. These people are just ridiculous. I mean, she repeated so many of the things that Nicole's group say. And she made an absolute ass of herself before a judge. Anyway, it's been almost half an hour. There's still 3 lurkers. I got to get back to... Technically, she could, but she's not going to bother because why throw good money after bad? He would have to come down here and it wouldn't amount to anything. He's not doing as much as Nicole is, so I doubt she's going to even look twice at the little snot rag. Now we've only got 2 lurkers. But anyway, I got to get back to working on this, and I got a bunch of other crap I got to try and do simultaneously. So, the person that's supposed to be letting me know when she goes live hasn't really, I guess they got a life too. So, they don't always get me informed in time. So I need to get back to, I need to get back to making pots of coffee because I know I'm going to be delving into this all fucking night again. Oh, Firefly, right now I don't have much of a choice because, there's, this person needs that information, that person, and I've got such a compendium of information on this subject as it is. I mean, I can't even send it all in one document. It takes dozens of documents. I have to send separate emails with separate folders of files. I've got literally thousands of screenshots. I've got screenshots of people that are being harassed by these people. I'm serious. When it comes out how in-depth this is, you're just going to be just gobsmacked. It's holy mother of shit. And the big question everybody is going to ask is why? And I think the bottom line is it's somebody that belongs in a place like where Nicole belongs, a mental ward somewhere where they can't escape, where they can't use the internet. Maybe someplace like Western State in the 50s. If you've seen the movie Frances starring Jessica Lange, she played actress Frances Farmer. And because she was a rebel and didn't want to do what everybody wanted her to do, her mother wanted to get control over her. She wanted to stop acting, but her mother was really obsessed with Hollywood and Hollywood life. Hold on. And wanted her to keep acting. And she wanted to go off and do this and that. And she had joined the Communist Party, I think, at one point. Well, Firefly, this is so... it's such a delicate subject. We have to be extremely careful with who gets information at this point. It's that seriously nasty. But Frances Farmer, her mother didn't like her joining the Communist Party and trying to do her own thing and trying to leave Hollywood, so she had her committed. And she had her committed to Western State Hospital in Washington State, which was known as a snake pit. And if you've seen the movie, you don't really see the full depiction of the kinds of things that went on there. And, oh, they're so much better now. They're so much better now. No, they're a little better, but they're really not. And there's a lot of people working in the mental health field that should not be. There are some sadistic assholes working in mental health. And, Western State, oh, we're so much better now. We're so much better now. I'm like, yeah, not that much better. Because I had an ex-boyfriend that used to occasionally, shall we say, have a little vacation there now and then. Because for some odd reason, he was very proud of being bipolar. He just didn't admit to the rest of it with schizoaffective tendencies. He wasn't going to mention that part, and his dad told me that one. But about every 7 years, he would decide he was fine, he could go off his medication, and yep, he would end up taking another vacation back to Western State. And then I had a friend who worked there, and let me tell you, she probably should have been a patient there. Manipulative, emotionally needy narcissist. And she got attacked by one of the patients and ended up having to have all this surgery on her shoulder because it was a little old lady, but she picked her up and flung her. And, I mean, they've got some very seriously ill people in there, and they can get very, very violent. And, of course, you deal with that long enough, you start to not give a fuck, and you start getting nasty with people. Then it seems to me there was somebody else. I don't remember who. But, oh, no, I worked in a nursing home. And they were just building their Alzheimer's wing. Because with Alzheimer's patients, you have to be very, very careful because they will wander off. A friend of mine lost her dad that way. He got out of the facility, wandered down the hill, fell in a pond, and drowned. Because they had no protocols for keeping them inside. So this place I was working at was building their Alzheimer's wing. And it had codes on the doors that you had to know. You couldn't just push a button and have the door open, So only, of course, staff knew what it was and everything. So while they're building it, the Alzheimer's patients are still in among everyone else. And we had this very tiny little old lady that, looked like she wouldn't hurt a fly. And there was this head nurse that we all hated. Oh, this woman was just nasty. She was so far up her own ass. It was just, everyone hated her. The patients hated her. We hated her. Well, she did something to piss this woman off one time. Next thing I know, one of the nurses comes in, she's snickering, oh my God, so-and-so broke so-and-so's thumb. I'm like, what? Yeah, so-and-so broke so-and-so's thumb. All of us are hiding in a back room, giggling about it because we hated this nurse so much. And this teeny tiny little old lady busted her thumb. And then I worked in the kitchen, so one day, oh God, this one little old lady wanders in, and I'm like, hey, can I help you? She's looking around in wonder going, oh no, it's just that I haven't been in here for so long, I forgot what it looked like. I'm like, well, probably looks the same as it always has. So I kind of tried to guide her back out. My boss tells me later, you need to make sure she does not come in the kitchen. She's one of our Alzheimer's patients, and she has been known to get into the kitchen, look like she's lost and helpless, and then she grabs a knife and starts chasing you around. I'm like, oh, good to know. And then there was another patient. She would come in and she would just kind of stand there and look at you and say, can I help you? Can I have a cookie? I mean, sweetest. How sweet. How sweet. So I'm like, yeah, sure, let me find you a cookie. And we didn't have any cookies. We had some graham crackers. So I got her some graham crackers and I put them on a plate for her. And she says, could I have some coffee? So I got her a cup of coffee and I started to carry it out to the lunchroom with her. And my boss comes in and says, oh, you're not supposed to give her sugar. She's a diabetic. I'm like, oh my God, I've killed her. I've killed her. And she's like, no, it's okay. Graham crackers aren't that high in sugar. She's fine. Just know that, try to encourage her to have an orange instead. Oranges are probably higher in sugar than graham crackers. And the facility I was in, it was shit. It was absolute, I mean, bottom line, the bottom line, cut down man hours, blah, blah, blah. They didn't give a flying fuck about the care, the quality, the food, nothing. Just make us more money with less work hours. We were understaffed. We had a meeting one time and they're talking about, well, some of the families are complaining because people get left here and they're crying out for help and nobody helps them. By the way, nurses, when you give sponge baths and stuff, do not be discussing the patient's genitals. I mean, this is the kind of garbage these nurses would do, and they were just horrible. And I was out in the lunchroom. I delivered something, and one of the nurses was helping one of the residents eat. And there's one little old lady that was wheelchair bound. She's going, help me, help me, help me. And I stopped and I said, well, what do you need help with? And one of the nurses just says, oh, there is no help for her. Excuse me. So the little old lady looks at her and looks at me and she says, there is no help for me. So I stood there with her for a few minutes and I held her hands, and man, that woman had a grip. Oh, she had a grip on me. And she says, can I have a kiss? Well, sure you can. So I kissed her on the cheek, and it's like, well, now I got to get back to work. Nobody else is getting lunch. And she finally let go of my hands. But then every time she saw me, she would smile and wave at me. It was really sweet. And then we had another resident who was paralyzed, and they'd had a problem with her because she pretty much hated everybody. Understandable. People like Nicole out in the world. But they had a problem with her eating. Well, other people that worked in the kitchen, they didn't give a shit either. So the food sucked. And you can't add salt and you can't add sugar, and this person's allergic to this and that one's allergic to that. So I started adding herbs and garlic and stuff like that to this industrial flavorless food. Next thing you know, people are actually eating. And she comes in and asks me what I'm doing differently because the food was so good. Yummy, 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 yummy. And she was middle-aged. She wasn't, an elder person, but she was, she'd had an accident that left her paralyzed and brain damaged. And so for lunchtime, she would come into the kitchen to see who was working. And if I was working, she would clap her hands, go, yay, 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 you're here. Oh, food's going to be good. Food's going to be good. It was just sad. It was so horribly sad. And then we had to, put everybody's little nameplates on their lunch trays and stuff. And I noticed one was missing one day. And my boss says, oh, God, Firefly, seriously? There are some alternatives you can use along with, intense hand washing. But I noticed one of the name tags was missing for the trays. And I asked my boss, well, what happened to, let's call her Norma. What happened to Norma? And they said, and my boss says, oh, she went to a better place. And I said, oh, the place up the road. She just deadpan looks at me and she says, no, she went home. And I said, oh, her family came and got her. And she looks at me and says, no, she died. I'm like, well, then why don't you just fucking say that? Don't give me this mamby-pamby bullshit. Just tell me that she died. She went to be with her Lord. You know, stop. Jesus called her home. She was Mexican? I didn't know that. And it's pronounced Jesus. Thank you. You know, we work in a nursing home. We work with elderly people. It happens. Just tell me that they died. And of course, they were pissed off when I mentioned the place up the road being better. It's like, well, because we suck. You know, I may be here just to get a paycheck, but I'm also going to give a shit about the residents and the quality of their food and, you know, that sort of thing. And if they want to stop and talk to me, if I have the time, I'll stop and talk to them. They're lonely people. We had one, I'm going to start crying, Jesus Christ. We had one woman, the only reason she was in there, she had won the lottery. Her son conned her into giving him power of attorney, and then he had her committed. He went around, whoring around to the casinos, getting drunk, doing drugs, and she's in this shitty, low-level nursing home. And she was angry. She hated everyone. The nurses were always coming in and saying, oh, Mrs. What's-Her-Face, she's complaining about lunch again, and she wants something different, and blah, blah, blah. I got fed up one day. I went down to her room, and I introduced myself to her. And I said, I hear you have a problem with what we have on the menu for lunch today. I don't want that garbage. So I said, well, look, these are the only other things we have available. I will make something for you if you don't like that. And I named a few things off. We had like fish sticks, chicken strips. You know, she didn't have a dysphagia diet or anything. I think we had hamburgers, you know, pre-cooked frozen hamburgers. I mean, gross, disgusting, but, you know, and so she told me what she wanted, and I made it for her, and I took it down there myself. And it got to the point that I would have to go down to her room before I started, ask her what she was interested in for dinner, and that was the only way we could get her to eat. Otherwise, she would starve herself. All because her greedy ass son wanted to go party on mom's money and wanted her out of the way. And it's not endemic to nursing homes. I've done private in-home care. You know, wealthy people, blah, blah, blah. Wealthy woman, her husband had died, had 2 kids. One lived local, one lived in another state. Her daughter was histrionic, self-centered, narcissistic. She had been through breast cancer, so she would get hysterical on it, even though she had been cured for years. The client had Alzheimer's. She was mid-stage. So luckily I came in after the beginning stage, which is when they're more likely to be violent. Yeah, exactly, Firefly. I mean, there's so much stuff I would love to be able to ask my mother. Of course, you know, I found out some stuff in California last year that kind of, yeah, threw me for a loop. Stuff I had suspected, but it got clarified because the brother that lives down there is considerably older than me. He was off on his own by the time I was born. He was in the Navy over in Vietnam and all that shit. So this wealthy private client, she was past the violent stage, and apparently she was not a nice person before the Alzheimer's. She was nasty. She was Nicole, but not stupid. Just nasty for the sake of it. She would grab a hold of her daughter's hair, yank her down the hallway kind of thing. And so her kids didn't like her, but her daughter kind of was trauma bonded to her daughter. The son resented her. But we're talking a very expensive property in an exclusive neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. And they weren't doing bad financially themselves. But basically, they didn't want to take care of mom. They just wanted mom to hurry up and die so they could inherit. And she fell and she had an artificial hip. She fell and that thing popped out of the socket one day. So we had to have her taken by cabulance, and she went up to this exclusive hospital, while they were working on it and getting it put back into place and discussing whether or not to just replace it with a larger socket. They discovered she had uterine cancer. And she did not like anybody messing around in the general vicinity of her hoo-ha. Don't go near the hoo-ha. When she needed a catheter, oh, no, don't go near my hoo-ha. And so you would have to give her a sedative before you could give her a catheter and all that sort of thing. Well, they found out she had uterine cancer. So I had some time off because her main caretaker took care of that, and she had to be in a rehab facility for a while afterwards. She came back, so went back to work. Matter of fact, I had gone to my auntie's in Idaho, and I was on my way home, and I was maybe halfway through the drive, and they called me and said, you got to get back here. She, we've only had her home for a week, and she's fallen again, and the hip has come out. We need some help. So I had to go directly there. I didn't even get a chance to go home. And so we got that dealt with, went home, did my stuff, went back to work. And a couple weeks later, it popped out again, and they're still like, well, at her age, she was like 78, I think. At her age, we don't really want to do surgery because we don't know that she could handle it. And while we had her in the hospital, we noticed her belly was swollen. Well, she had a tendency to not fully evacuate her bladder. So they had to do the catheter. And she said, don't you be around my hoo-ha. You get away from my hoo-ha. They got the catheter in, and almost nothing came out. And they're pressing on her abdomen. So they had to sedate her. They had to, use a big needle and syringe and drain some fluid out of her abdomen. And it was ascites, and it proved positive for TMTs, which is a tumor marker. It's a tumor marker test, I think is what it is. She still had cancer in her abdomen, but now was basically free floating. And so I went outside with the main caretaker, and she called the son, and she's like, I have some bad news about your mom. We just found out that she has cancer again, and they can't operate. His response was, oh, well, that's great. Just make sure she gets her arsenic cocktail every afternoon. That's what her son was like. Her daughter got histrionic. Oh my God, my mommy. Oh, I know what it's like because I have breast cancer, or I had breast cancer. Oh my goodness. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, they told us she had maybe 6 months. Well, we started noticing she was losing an awful lot of weight really fast. We couldn't get her to eat. Yeah. Her son literally said, give her her arsenic cocktail. 4 o'clock was always cocktail hour, and you had to drink with her. So you would pour her a very light Jack Daniels and 7-Up. And I tried to get away with just putting 7-Up in a wine glass, and she, didn't fall for that one, because I'm pretty much a lightweight when it comes to alcohol. So what we did was we got some rosé wine, and I would mix some of that in a glass with 7-Up. And, well, what is that? And I said, oh, it's just a wine spritzer. Oh, well, that's lovely. And she was getting to the point that she was pretty bad. So we had to call the kids. And, of course, the son didn't care. Yeah, just let me know when the old bat's gone. Daughter flew in immediately, brought her daughter, one of her daughters, and her daughter's friend. Really? You bring your daughter's friend for something like this? Now, This is only about 5 weeks later. And she's losing a lot of weight. It's taking both of us to lift her and get her around. She's far eating less. And we're just like, oh God, oh God, oh God, because her gown came open in the back and we saw her backbone, and we're just like looking at each other like, oh my God. So the daughter arrives with the granddaughter and the granddaughter's friend, and we've hi Brandon, one of my tribal elders came to stay with us as well, because she's a sitter, and she sits with people who are dying to calm them and ease them into the transition, and she holds their hands and strokes their hands and speaks to them very quietly, and she has to do this a lot, so she just stayed with us, and she thought it was great because she got spoiled. The daughter comes to me on the side one day and says, I understand it's traditional to gift an elder. And she says, what should I get her? A blanket? I'm like, no blanket, no blanket, no, don't. Shades of smallpox, do not give her a blanket. Well, she ended up gifting her $500, just cash, because she didn't know what else to do. And it came in handy because she had just broken her dentures and didn't have the money to fix them. So she now had the money to fix them and the money left over to buy some more beads. Which, beads. Never have enough beads. Don't tell me I have too many beads. I'll kick you. And so we've got a house full. Then we've got the asshole neighbor coming over because he wants to get into the liquor cabinet and drink the good stuff. Well, the thing is, we'd started buying the cheap stuff. Hey, Tommy. How's the husband? How's the hubby hubs doing? Anyway, this neighbor would come over wanting the expensive stuff, so we would pour him the expensive stuff. He didn't know we were buying cheap stuff and putting it in the expensive bottle. And he didn't know the difference. So we've got all this garbage going on. It's just insane. And at one point, since we had her in a hospital bed in the living room, and the main caretaker was upstairs in her bedroom, the girls were sleeping in the family room on the floor. The daughter was sleeping in the other bedroom. So I had to sleep in the client's bed. Not comfortable, but we had baby monitors and that sort of thing. And we had morphine and atropine because she would get that, basically a death rattle. So we would give her a few drops of the atropine and it would calm that death rattle right down and she could breathe normally again. Well, one morning on the baby monitor, you get trained to it, just like, if any of you who are parents, you get trained to the baby monitor. Any little sound that is off, boom, you're up. Well, one morning around 9 a.m., I heard that noise, boom, I'm awake. And then I was like, oh, wait, okay, the other people are here. I think they can handle it. And I heard them shuffling around out there. I could tell they were giving her the drops. The breathing evened out. And then I heard her breathe deeply and sigh. And that was it. Hey, Chumley. She breathed deeply, she sighed, and that was it. And I just knew. I sat up, and I'm like, oh, God, that was it. That was it. Pretty soon the other caretaker comes in and looks at me and said, that was it, wasn't it? She says, yeah, she's gone. So her daughter is hysterical and, oh, my mommy, my mommy, my mommy. And, of course, after all was said and done, it was the battle over the will, the property, the jewelry, and then we couldn't get paid. They took 2 months to pay either of us. They owed me only $2,000, and then they owed the other caretaker over $10,000. But they didn't want to pay us because they wanted every penny they could for themselves, because hip hip hooray, ding dong, the witch is dead, we get her money. And it doesn't matter if you're poor or rich, greed will come for you. The vultures will descend. Grandma Mona had nothing, but her family tore everything apart for anything that might be worth 5 cents. I've seen it so many times. When the last of my aunts died, my biological aunts, um, my cousin called me. I was in the middle of a meeting at Seattle Indian Health, and my phone goes off. I'm like, what is that noise? Oh my gosh, it's my phone. I go running out of the room so it doesn't interrupt the meeting. And it's one of my cousins, and this auntie died, and the funeral is blah, blah, blah day. And I said, well, thank you for telling me I won't be there. Thank you, Ashley. Guess what? You can go fuck yourself. Do you know how stupid you sound, Ashley, asshole? Anyway, I said that, I said, I'm not going to be there. Well, you have to be there. No, I don't. I don't have to be anywhere. She says, or he says, it was one of my male cousins, he says, well, you have to pay your respects to Auntie. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm paying my respects to her by not being there. Because I know there's someone else in the family who's going to make it all about them, who's going to make it a big dramatic thing. She's going to try and start shit with me. I said, most respectful thing I can do is stay away. So the time comes and goes, and sure enough, that person had started a big kerfuffle about why wasn't Ani there. Oh, does that bitch think she's too special for us? And she went up to the coffin and put a fork in her hand so that she could have something to eat with in the next life. What the fuck, bitch? But she has to, make a spectacle of things and get the spotlight on herself. And I don't know how her husband has put up with her for so long. But while I was in California last year, he kicked off. He was a good 10 years older than her. But he's had a history of heart problems, and he finally kicked off. So now she's stuck by herself, and not even her kids really want anything to do with her because she's the one that nobody else in the family wants to deal with because she's like Nicole. She lies. If she doesn't know something, she'll make it up. She will pass it off as truth. Except unlike Nicole, she can actually make it sound believable. Oh, it's one of the trolls coming over here, so whatever. Let them listen. At this point, I'm just talking to myself. Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Get a fucking life. Fucking troll. Yeah, Ashley, you come over here to defend one of the most vile people on the internet. What does that say about you, Ashley? You support and defend someone who lies. Oh, I don't know what went on with the cheer coach. Well, guess what? I've talked around to some people, and I know what happened. And Nicole's story does not add up. Not surprised. She keeps saying that Dina is making people do stuff. We're all independent people. We don't need anybody to make us do anything. And Dina, yes, we're stalkers, yes. Yes, we're all stalkers. When we're blatant about, yeah, we're going to watch your shit. We're not hiding. She just has us blocked. Just like I blocked Ashley. And what is it with people named Ashley that they're such assholes? Or assholes? Well, wait, no. The cheer coach's name is Ashley, but I think that's her last name. The one that Nicole wants to disparage. The woman who gives her time freely for the Special Olympics. And because Nicole got reprimanded and wants to throw a little toddler temper tantrum, she thinks that this coach should be fired. And then you've got Abe saying, oh, is she fucking these kids? All it takes for something like that to get out from beyond one of their shitty streams, and you could ruin someone's life. You could put a black stain on the Special Olympics. And the thing is, Nicole doesn't think that repercussions should apply to her. And doing shit like that could get her kicked off the softball team too. And then whose fault is that going to be, Nicole? Everyone else's. Dina made them kick me off. Dina's trolls made them kick me off. They did this and they did that. Everybody's fault but mine. I don't do nothing but sit on the internet and talk shit about people. I mean, there is proof of everything. It's just that her dumb fuck supporters refuse to look at it. Especially because Nicole just has to say, they lied, they lied, they lied, they lied. And for some reason they believe her. But the thing is, a lot of this is in court papers now. It is part of the legal record. You would not believe the kind of records Dina has. And Nicole, I'd be really careful where you step there. Because there are records, and there are records. Kami's got records of you talking about people's kids, but then you want to bitch about Jake doing something having to do with somebody's kids. A kid that it turns out is actually 18 and is therefore no longer a minor, but all the same, Jake, stop talking about people's kids. None of us support that shit, but you wanted to go in. She warned you for months. You kept talking about her family. You kept talking about her kid. And so she went in on you. And now you want to say, oh, she cried and playing the victim. And you and all your idiot motherfucking supporters refuse to see anything beyond her posting that information. You refuse to realize that you caused this. This is your fault. You were warned. You were warned. You were warned. You were warned. Yeah, private sector, you can shut up your big fat nasty ass. You support someone who lies, someone who besmirches people, someone who supports chomos. Private sector supports chomos. Maybe we should find out who private sector is and expose them for being a supporter of chomos. Oh, I don't think it's Nicole. It might be Abe because he's blocked on here too. Matter of fact, I saw on my analytics and stuff, Nicole subbed to me. I think one of her sock accounts is also subbed to me. Oopsie. Brandon. I don't see Savage here anywhere. Oh, there they are. Near. Oh, I can't go from here. I have to go to YouTube. Okay, this might stop everything, so bear with. If you've ever seen a show called Miranda, there's a character in there that's always on her cell phone going, bear with. Then she'll get her message or whatever it is, and then just goes on about the day, like, oh, okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Spinny, spinny, spin. Spinny, spinny, spin. Spinny, spinny, spin. Content. I have 1,000 views. Yay! Most of it's trolls. Yeah, private sector supports people who dox people, talk about other people's kids. So, okay, close that. Come on, open it, open it, open it. Man, this tab will open up. That's all right, dear. I'll just bring you some cheesy puffs. Man, give me cheesy puffs. Oh, thank you, Firefly. Yeah, it's gonna be months in the making. It's gonna be absolute hell. Especially because some of the records have suddenly disappeared. Suddenly, mysteriously disappeared. So I don't know how that happened. Okay, I'll wait for the chat to come up. Chat. Chatty, chatty, chat, chatty, chat, chat, chatty, 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 chat. Okay, where'd it go? I don't know why, Savage, but you are not in the live chat. What the hell, Savage? None of us can see you. Why is that? You know, I can't see Harvard Chicky on a live broadcast either, and I don't have her blocked. I don't have Savage blocked, but I can't see him. So I haven't a clue. Maybe Savage is a phantom. A YouTube internet phantom, and it's going to haunt Nicole's dreams. Nicole, when you go to sleep tonight, you are not going to dream of taking Harold out for a drink. You're not going to dream of CJ changing your diaper. You are not going to dream of G Mangoes violating your back door. All you're going to see is the phantom Savage Libra haunting you. You'll see him in the corner of your room, growing larger and larger, a dark specter, arms extended, closer and closer, until the darkness envelops you. Because, yeah, I can't see Savage in the live chat on YouTube. Anyway, anything else we should expose, discuss, whatever? I've been so busy with this stuff, I can't do much of anything, and with the flare, I can't get around outside too much, and I need to get some pictures because, like, my fritillarias are about to bloom, and my hellebore is blooming, which is also known as Lenten rose, and it's really, really pretty. It blooms this time of year. My old-fashioned Daphne is blooming in it. They've got gorgeous little purple flowers. It's extremely toxic, but I think my winter Daphne died. For some reason, I cannot keep a winter Daphne going. But if you have ever smelled the blossoms of winter Daphne, oh my God. Hey, anime fan. Here, let's highlight what you're saying. No, Dina is not the doxer. Nicole has a long history of this. Yeah, anime fan. Nicole has made channels about Connie's kids. She's made at least 2 on YouTube. She's made 1 on TikTok. And she has made videos in the past, long before Dina was even known, talking about people's children, a baby from the ICU with a tube in its nose going, I don't give a fuck. Fuck their kids. So go fuck yourself, anime fan, you disgusting piece of shit who supports child molesters. Have a nice night. Did somebody else block anime? Kami, can you just block anime because it doesn't seem to be working on my end? Oh no, she sits on live streams while she's out at dinner. Yeah, and you sit on live streams while you're yanking it on the toilet, okay? You're disgusting. You support child molesters. You support people who create CP and distribute CP. What kind of a fuckhead are you? Jesus Christ. Come on, bitches. Let's go. Let's go, bitches. Because all you're showing us is that you are nasty, bottom of the barrel, bottom feeding scum who support nasty, vile, bottom feeding scum. Hey, Joe, what you doing? Oh, is that Evil Abe? Is that one of Evil Abe's things? Yeah, just delete him. Oh, Joe, like I said earlier in the stream, I wasn't gonna stream this long, but I've got another project that I'm working on that takes about 16 hours a day because it takes so much research and connecting dots and screenshots and calling this agency and calling that agency and blah blah blah. Mame? Who's Mame? Brandon, are you a friend of Evil Abe? Because if you are, you're gonna go bye-bye. I don't even want a connection to something like that. Evil Abe wants to cause problems. Oh, all the sock accounts are coming out now. Yeah, let's talk about Evil Abe. He goes after women. If a man comes for him, he tucks his tail between his legs and runs. He was on a stream and Christian came up, and all of a sudden Abe couldn't get away fast enough. Oh, Joe, it's just the Nicole trolls coming in. So we'll just do what Nicole does. Block, 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 block. Block, 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 block. Blocky, blocky, block, block. Oh, yeah, it could be Marie and J-Love because they're nasty, vile people. I mean, how happy can they be in their real lives? Marie going off, I have a husband, but she's trailing after CJ like he's leaving a trail of pheromones or something. And then she gets into it with him and won't let anybody else talk, screams over the top of people. Fuck. Brandon, she may not be normal, but she has trisomy 18. She knows right from wrong, but she's got people that are supporting the wrong. People that are prodding her to do wrong. Okay, Brandon. You're good at fixing cars. Yay. I'm not great at fixing cars, but when my back works, I do. Matter of fact, before I go to California, I got to do some work on my car. I need to change the oil, check the brakes. Relatively new brake pads and stuff, so don't need to really deal with that. Check all the fluids. I had a bunch of stuff done in California last year that I didn't want to. Well, yeah, Kami. I don't know what her thing is for CJ, but she's been in and out of his community so many times, and fuck him. Who gives a shit? If her If her husband is fine with it or whatever, not my problem. They're consenting adults. Oh, they're just sending in all the trolls, isn't it? Yeah, Brandon, she knows exactly what she's doing. I've talked to some people, and she's been doing this even before she was on YouTube. If she gets into any kind of trouble, she pulls the race card. You're just doing this because I'm black. Well, you're doing this because I'm disabled. She can never be wrong. She's always in the right. She can't be punished. Yeah, Nicole, you're about to find out differently. Yeah, I reported the TikTok. She says that, YouTube needs to be sold because the people running it don't know what they're doing. It was false strikes, and that's not how YouTube works. We've been reporting her shit for a long time because it's hateful, it's slanderous, and this does not fit under free speech, no matter how much Nicole and her idiot trolls want to try and force it into that hole. And finally, YouTube had to have found something worth taking it down. And I guess she's getting her channel back the day, like Thursday or something like that. But I know she had several streams taken down. She's flipping out about that. And of course, it's all false striking. So now she's got videos and posts online saying, hey, dumb shit army, go after Bald Eagle and false strike her. She is right there admitting she wants you to false strike her. And then she puts up a link that says, I am Dina. You just made that connection between who you're talking about. Bald Eagle is Dina. Okay? You just made that connection. So you just made it so much easier, you fucking moron. Oh, now we got it. How many sock accounts do these people have? Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I don't want to go there, Joe. Do not want to go there. Not going there. I mean, I don't know if it was Harvard Chickie or what. She told that she was a virgin in the front but not in the back. It's like, A, TMI. B, was it actually consensual? Because while she may be of relatively sound mind, she can still be very easily taken advantage of. And anybody taking that kind of advantage of someone like her needs to be shot. Joe, come on. We're not doing this. Brandon, what are you on about? You can fix cars and you got a good massage before. What are you talking about? Yeah, trolls, you better go run and spend some time with it before something happens. The funniest thing is she's got a new merch page. She's got a new little merch store or whatever, but she's only sharing it on her Discord to what, 6 people? I mean, what a brilliant marketing strategy. My sister used to work in marketing. She took a namby-pamby little marketing company and turned it into a multi-million-dollar company. If she got a hold of Nicole with, I'm just exposing this on Discord, I'm not giving the link out anywhere else, she would go all Joan Crawford on your ass. She's 5'8" and wears 4-inch heels. She would be in your face going, what the fuck kind of marketing scheme is that? Do you want to make money? Hey, Dina. Well, I know, Dina, you can't stay long because it's 11:30. You got to work tomorrow and you have a life. Unlike what Nicole keeps telling people. Everyone, this is Dina. She has a life. She has a family. She has a very busy business. And now she has a very busy life in the court system because of her ex and his idiot supporters. And again, Nicole, you want to tell us if Dina's going to get her t-shirt or not? Because if everything got taken down, most likely because she was stealing art and the TikTok label and all that. What, Anthony? What about it? Are you another troll? Because you can go bye-bye real quick. Well, yeah, of course you're super busy because you keep having to do this shit, so you end up being double booked at work and working 10-hour, 12-hour days and... You know, this isn't a game. Nicole thinks it's a game. Ah, ah! And she's been allowed to play this game for far too long. YouTube has slapped her down before. Of course, now she's telling people that, and YouTube, that if they don't put her streams back up, she's going to sue them. With what? You can't pay an attorney in crumble cookies or White Castle sliders. Hey, Brandon, guess what? You get to go away. Yeah, I knew somebody. Yep, we figured as much, Anthony. Bye. Look at all the assholes coming over here to defend a nasty, vile bottom feeder. Look at them! Look at them! Well, that comment didn't look exactly... Well, now I don't know how to unblock him. Yeah, she's reporting Dina's stuff every day. Well, sorry, Brandon, I don't know how to unblock you. Well, you know, I'm new to this, like I've tried to say, because, you know, Nicole wants to bag on me because she's been a shitbag on YouTube for several years. I'm new to being a shitbag on YouTube. Oh, okay. Thanks, Connie. But, now everything's stopped. There we go. Where was it? Yeah, I haven't been on YouTube that long. You know, I'm not working with, like, the most expensive equipment and all that stuff, and I don't plan to. You know, I don't really plan to do a lot on YouTube, except if I'm a guest on someone else's stream. My sister might do a live stream on hashtag MMIW, which is Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women. I've got a friend that's... Oh, okay, thanks, Joe. Thank you so much. So, yeah, I don't plan to be like a long-term YouTuber because I've got too much other stuff going on. I mean, I'm surprised I've been on here this long tonight. Maybe because I'm dreading the work I'm going to be up doing all night. Good God. Oh yeah, you should have seen it. The trolls have just been thick. Okay, Dina, we'll see you later. Well, it's really freaking late where you're at. You shouldn't be up. You should be going to bed. You have work in the morning. Anyway, my nephew might do a stream with me about intersex and what it is and how it's not the same as being trans and how many forms of intersex there are, which just astounds me that there are so many different forms of it. Yeah, sorry, Brandon, but I'm just not going to tolerate anything trollish, and I'm not that familiar with you, so. But Nicole's been on here for years being a shit stain. A lying shitbag is what she's been. She has exposed people's children. She's making channels about children. Then she says, that ain't me, when we've got the blatant proof. She mentioned it in Discord. We've got screenshots of her saying it. But those idiots that follow her, well, I haven't seen it. Oh, yeah, okay, that's what you call solipsism. I haven't seen it, therefore it does not exist. I discuss this on our native spirituality lives often, that skeptics have a tendency to either be afraid of the truth or so stuck in their science they can't accept that things do change and things get found out and all that sort of thing. And yeah, Brandon. She the White Crest Baked Rabbit Christian, whose name she cannot spell, and that's how we know when she's talking about him under a sock or something, because she can't spell it right. Okay, Kami, get them dishes washed, bish. Anyway, on our other lives, people are so entrenched in their science they don't accept that there could be anything else out there. And how many things over the centuries have we found that, it was talked about, they called those people crazy, and then went, oh, wait, I guess that is true. Happens all the time. But with spiritualism and stuff, you get a lot of skeptics that pull the solipsism thing that says, I wasn't there, I didn't experience it, but you didn't experience it either. I haven't seen it, therefore it's not true. How many skeptics are now believers because, they found out it was true? I mean, we can discuss a certain someone from Ghost Adventures, but that piece of shit, he is so disrespectful to Native people. When he got called out, he blocked Native people. And this is an episode that took place down in Arizona on Diné territory, which is the Navajo. And the thing is, people were asking around, the people that belong to the tribe, who are these people? Nobody knew who these so-called Navajos were that Zach had showing him around. But we've got, disconnected colonized natives who are willing to sell out their own people for a couple bucks. So they might not have any real, connectable connection to the tribe, but they're willing to play on their tribal blood and make some money off it. And it's not just, the disconnected ones. If you saw, what was it? Was it Dances with Wolves? Yeah, I think it was Dances with Wolves. Smiles a Lot, or I think the character's name was Smiles a Lot. That was played by Nathan Chasing Horse. Nathan chases his horses. Nathan Chasing Horses. I mean, he's got various, forms of his name that he uses. And Hollywood went to his head, and, under the white gaze, oh, an actual Native American, I'm so impressed, So he fancied himself a medicine man, and he ended up with a group of people, mostly white people, following him around and, oh, our guru kind of bullshit, and giving him money. Well, he got chased off the Fort Peck Res in Montana because he was involved in drugs, guns, sexual assaults, etc. And much like with Nicole, he has people who support him to the ends of the earth You're making a mistake. You're making a mistake. Excuse me. I know people whose family members have been abused by him, physically and sexually. And nobody's really sure where he's at now. And I don't know if he's any relation to that model, what's her name? Quanah Chasing Horse. But it's a really unusual name, so they're probably cousins or something. And she probably doesn't talk about cousin Nathan, you know? I wish these damn cigarettes would stay lit. But, you know, and, you know, Abe likes to make fun of, you know, my name and stuff because he's too stupid to be able to pronounce it. And he's too stupid to look it up and find out that it's not African, it's Native American. And I don't know. I lost my train of thought there. You know, people like him are just foul for the sake of being foul. Want to make threats? You know, go ahead and make some internet threats. Whoopee. Whoopee. Not a problem. Thing is, he's not too far from Cherokee territory. Matter of fact, he's technically in Cherokee territory, but technically the Eastern Cherokee Nation is based on the Qualla boundary in North Carolina. And that's where my family comes from. I got a lot of friends from there. But these people are just foul, 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 and, you know, want to mock people's names and all that stuff. And the thing is, I remember where I was going with it. With actual native names, some people you can tell what tribe or linguistic group they come from because of their name. A lot of the Seminoles used to hide runaway slaves. And we're talking the Everglades, the swamps, where white people and their cops are not willing to go. Lots of nasty things in them swamps. So, of course, these runaway slaves intermarried into the tribe. So you've got Seminole people with some pretty bushy hair. And so that evolved into the name Bushyhead. So if you see someone with the last name Bushyhead, they're most likely Seminole. Well, they're actually most likely Seminole and African American, which makes them a Black Indigenous person. And Black Indigenous is not rare. A lot of Black people have Indigenous blood. And that's everywhere. But it started on the East Coast with the slaves, and then it traveled west with the Trail of Tears when the tribes took their slaves with them. And brief history lesson here. What the United States government calls the 5 so-called civilized tribes, that's the Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Creek, and Seminole. These are the 5 tribes that the government went to and said, hey, make you a deal. You live like us. You live in houses. You wear woven clothing. You farm. You live in a house. You become Christian and own slaves. We will leave you alone. We will never touch you. We will leave your homelands alone. You don't have anything to worry about. Well, guess what? Bloody Andrew Jackson comes along, and suddenly we're all being marched to Oklahoma. There's more than one trail, and one trail actually goes up into Arkansas. And so, you know, they were settled all around Oklahoma. And then, of course, being called the Sooner State, you know, the whole land rush thing with white people grabbing up land and all that crap. I mean, anyway, so the Seminole Nation is both in Florida and in Oklahoma. There's Cherokee Nation all over the Southeast, but there's, you know, 2 main bands in Oklahoma. Godzika, for one thing, you're not a god, you're a goddamn. She'll waste the court's time and taxpayer money. She's paying for it for herself, bitch. And when you keep harassing her for a fucking year, yeah, somebody's going to do something. The problem is most of you assholes keep doing this shit because you hide behind a keyboard and you think you can get away with it. You think you're anonymous. You're not as anonymous as you think you are. All it takes is someone that can afford an attorney to send some paperwork to YouTube and Google, and oh, they got to give up the information. We know who you are. Now, you're not going to be threatening people when it can get out that, oh yeah, Joe Schmo over here, he likes to threaten women on the internet. How would that go with your family, with your boss, with your community? So fuck off. Anyway, where were we with the okay. You'll hear a lot of people claim to be Cherokee. They're really not. Most of them can't prove it, blah, blah, blah. That's not to say they're not necessarily, it's just that they can't prove it. And they know nothing about the culture because every tribe has its own culture. It has its own language, its own culture, its own spirituality. So when people say, oh, I love Native American culture, which one? Oh, I love Native Americans. Really? Some of us ain't so nice. Example here, okay? You know, they generalize. But if somebody tells you, you know, they're Cherokee of northern Texas, well, that's a fake tribe. There are 3 federally acknowledged Cherokee bands, and that's the Eastern Band in North Carolina, the Cherokee Nation of Tahlequah in Oklahoma, and the Kiowa Band in western Oklahoma. Rest of them can fuck off. My family names are all over those motherfuckers. Well, they're all over Western Band and Eastern Band. I don't know if we're on Kiowa Band. Godzika. That sounds like somebody sneezing. Godzika! Godzika! Or somebody that's been bitten by a mosquito. I got the Zika! Anyway, I'm winding down and I need to try to remember to eat at some point because I've been so busy. I've been forgetting to eat, and one of my problems this morning was my blood sugar dropped, and that got pretty nasty and scary. And you know those packages I've been having trouble with that haven't shown up for over a month? One of them finally showed up today. The 3mm citrine gemstone earrings. And they are much bigger than 3mm. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sakes. Waited all this time, and they're not the right ones. So, fuck me running. Anyway, everybody, trolls, go fuck yourself. Go talk about me, please. Please go talk about me. Send more people over here. Then I'll get more subs. Help me here, trolls. Come on. Bring more people over here. Come on. Come on. Anyway, fuck you, trolls, except if you're going to help me get more stuff, more subscribers. Fuck you, Nicole. You lie, you lie, you lie. Your version of the story with the cheer coach is a lie. Dina is not lying. She's not forcing anyone to go report you. She is too fucking busy to even report you herself. She even ordered one of your goddamn shirts. Yes, you did copy her because all of a sudden you decided to make merch on the same exact site as her just hours after she did. You lie about everything. So fuck you, Nicole. Shut the fuck up. You don't know my real life. Fuck you. And have a good night, everyone else. Thanks for being here.